Hello, it's Michael Koppelman. Okay, there's the green dot. Um, I'm gonna try this. I don't know if I'll post it or not, but let me know if I posted it, okay? I'm at the Folk Alliance International Conference, and it's gotten a lot of wheels turning in my brain. Wheels that had been turning already, but there was like some 2,500, 2,800 people here. Almost all of them artists who brought their instruments and wanted to perform. Many which did. I did not. All of these people think they have a chance at success in music. Um, I'm not going to say they don't. In fact, I just want to emphasize in this video, I'm not saying that certain people should or should not do art. I'm not saying certain people can't be successful. Um, that's not my point. But there was 2,800 people here who all think they had a chance at being successful in music, and almost all of them are wrong, if not all of them. In that, it's this lottery that most of us don't win, and it's not a meritocracy. It's not like if you have the very best songs you will succeed. It's not how it works. um so I just had this analogy of like, I like to make chocolate chip cookies. I fucking love chocolate chip cookies. I make a fucking mean chocolate chip cookie. I've iterated over my recipe several times, and I love it. Should I start selling chocolate chip cookies? It is a huge chasm between being good at making chocolate chip cookies and having a company that sells chocolate chip cookies. And I think artists, we go through this process, and I'm no different, where you work on songs, you work on music, you play it for people, and you get some positive responses, like some genuine positive responses. People were like, "Wow, that's really cool, man. That's great." And it almost immediately sets in our minds like, okay, I can do that. I can be a musician. I can be a pro. I can sell my music. And that's like me saying that when someone likes my chocolate chip cookie. Um, it is a fucking impossibly hard industry, the music business, probably also the chocolate chip cookie business. And you can't just go like, oh, I make a good cookie. I'm gonna try to sell this. Oh, I wrote a good song. I'm gonna go sell this. It's not. Um, they're not one step apart. Is what I'm saying. If I decided I wanted to sell chocolate chip cookies, um, there's a elaborate, long process it would take in order for me to get into the market. Partners and money and distributors, and like there's a whole machines that have to work, and there's people out there selling trillions of fucking chocolate chip cookies. So I'd have to market against them. I'd be competing against them. Like, it's not about how good my fucking cookie is. And if I decide, no, I'm gonna sell chocolate chip cookies. I love my cookies. I believe in my cookies. I'm gonna sell my cookies. And then year one, you sell 7 cookies, and year two, you sell 8 cookies, and then 6, and then 15, and at no point do you make a profit. At no point are you moving the needle in the chocolate chip cookie industry. And how long would you sustain this if we were talking about something like cookies, Not very fucking long. You're not going to run your business at a loss for decades, hoping that someday people will see how good your fucking chocolate chip cookies are. No one does that. No one would. It's insane. And yet in art, like, we should make art for sure. Like, again, nowhere am I saying like don't make art, or don't try to share your art, or don't try to move the needle. I'm not saying that. But in art, we almost immediately want to share our music in a sort of a commercial way. We want to get paid. And a lot of singer-songwriters don't worry about getting paid. Like, we do song circles and open mics, and where it's really like a hobby, and a very rewarding one, and one that can lead to lots of careers and stuff. But that leap from, I like this and I'm good at it, to I'm going to try to commercialize this and make it, commercial venture, meaning a money-making venture. It's a huge fucking leap. And I swear artists don't really consider this at all. They go right from, oh, I love this song and people like it, to I can make it music. And at this conference, there was a lot of very smart people talking about sort of this exact thing. And I read this in a Wired article. This was not from this conference, but this woman said, like, I'm a plant. And, plant, if you want a plant to flower, you don't put a seed in the ground and a flower pops up right here. It's physically impossible. The way a flower grows is you build roots, and then you build these stalks, and it's a process of building this system that can create flowers. And if you think of the flower as success in your musical career, you're one tiny little seed that just fell in the dirt. You do, you know, I'll just talk about myself here. I do not have the system in place to make a flower. And I'm 60 fucking years old. I've been in the music business my whole life, really. Um, it takes a ton of talent and a ton of work and a ton of dedication to do that in the music industry. It's one of the hardest industries I know of, you know. Poetry and dance perhaps being as hard, but so it's depressing to watch people that have not fully thought this through or don't care, just plowing ahead and hoping, and wanting to move the needle and trying to do every trick they can and run every playbook they can in order to do this. It's just depressing. It's depressing because it's like thinking the lottery is going to solve your problems. Like, people who play the lottery, like it's a problem solver. The lottery is never going to solve your fucking problems. Literally never. No one wins the lottery. That's a whole separate podcast. But mathematically speaking, to about 4 decimal points, no one wins the lottery. It's a terrible plan to think the lottery is going to solve your problems. It's a terrible plan to think that your music is just going to pop flowers out and you're going to get great gigs and opening gigs and labels, and it takes a ton of work and a ton of everything going right, and then a ton of luck on top of that. So in a way, I sort of wish, and there's many artists that have reached this conclusion, and they're like, no, I love making music, and that's enough for me. And yeah, I go to conferences, yeah, I try to get gigs, and of course I do all this stuff because, you know, it's kind of how we share music. And to me, this is a peaceful approach. You know, it's like, it takes a little of the angst out of it when you just go like, no, I'm making music because I love it, and I'm making music with people I love. And then, yeah, things can happen. Who knows? It's a very different mindset than trying to run every playbook in the book, which I see all these people doing, not all, but many of these people just trying to do every fucking little tiny thing to maximize every little tiny thing, thinking that's going to do it for them. And it's not, because they don't have these networks and shit in place. How do you get these networks in place? It's hard. Annie DeFranco was talking, and she's a brilliant woman, and she's been very successful. And she was like, I don't know how. It's like, I spent years and years and years being ignored, where no one was jealous of me, and I was making no progress, and I was at times hoping people would magically press buttons that would make me famous. And eventually I was like, fuck that. The only person that can make me successful is me. And, you know, years and years of work and of connecting with the right people and making good decisions, and also being absolutely fucking fantastic at your craft, her craft, you know, this is what kind of gets you to the starting line. She's not Taylor Swift. She's worked her fucking ass off, and she's very successful. She's still scrapping, you know? I'm not saying she doesn't have money. I have no idea how much money she has. She's been in Broadway shows. She's very successful, but she's not Taylor Swift. You know, she's not Olivia Rodrigo, and she's one of the hardest working, most talented people, like, at this conference. So, the divorce from reality, I just think, is like this giant elephant in the room. And hope springs eternal. You know, I was talking to a 70-year-old guy, super awesome guy. We had a great time together. And he was asking these same questions. How do I move the needle? How do I get attention? Blah, blah. Yeah, he's in the same boat I am. It's not gonna happen, bro. Like, you can build out from where you are, and that's awesome. You're not gonna be fucking Paul Simon. I'm sorry. You never will be. There's not enough time for all the steps to happen, you know? And people get confused by this because someone on TikTok will post a thing and all of a sudden they get signed and they have a record. And, you know, these are little blips in the big thing. These are not artists that become huge artists. I mentioned the word luck. Luck is involved. Luck is useless if you're not fantastically fucking good at what you do. Like, fantastically fucking good. And that means being very self-critical. It means learning all the time. It also means understanding that, you know, people might not like your shit. Some will, but are you going to pander to people so they like your stuff so you can do these things? Like, no, that's a way to make terrible art, you know? So I kind of feel like we're blowing smoke into this dream because we want people to make music and we love it when they do. And all the things I said, like, please keep doing this. I'm not trying to discourage people. I'm trying to get people to sort of, I'm not trying anything. But at this conference, I'm like, you guys, some people should here be talking about, guys, you can't hang your hat on fucking being super successful in music. Like that can't be your plan, or it can't be your only plan, or you're just gonna be frustrated and bitter and jaded, and it happens to lots and lots and lots of us because we think our songs being good enough is enough. It's not. It's not enough. I might have the very best songs that you've ever fucking heard in your life. I have the best song ever written on earth. I might have that. It's irrelevant. No one's gonna listen to it. Even if they do, like magic just doesn't burst out of the fucking ground, So I think, you know, we should think twice before we jump into commercial ventures just because we like to do it. Do it. Do it a ton. Put your shit on Spotify, do gigs, whatever. But this pressure you put on yourselves, that we put on ourselves to think that through we can make this dream happen just because we want it to, it's just not true. So, again, you're on your 10th year of losses in your business. Most businesses would say like, okay, I should not be in business. This is not working. Musicians don't do that. I don't do it. I've lost money every fucking year, probably as a musician in a sense. Not as a producer, thank God, but as an artist, I've never made any money. It's a loss. It's a loss. Everything I do is a loss. Bands that do pretty fucking well in this world that you've heard of are sometimes living hand to mouth. They're not making a ton of money. I used to think rock stars all drove around in limos and private and shit like that. They don't. They don't. The very top, of course, do. A lot of artists you love that are on the road make very little fucking money. And they have to do a lot of different things in order to make a living at all. They got to get the merch and the publishing and sync and, Patreon and YouTube. And like, it's a multi-channel, multi-vector like thing, even for people who are doing very well. And a lot of people look at all those other things and say like, well, that's how you get successful. You got to do all these things. And that might be true. I'm not going to say it's not. All of those things take you away from being the baddest motherfucker on earth at what you're doing, the art part. So, we're told over and over and over. I was at this label conference, they're like, for us to sign someone, we got to see the Spotify streams. We got to see like the press and all these metrics. We have to see that your fans love you and they want you and that we can help you get to them. That's not irrational. I don't think they're evil people. Nowhere in this talk was labels wanting to release music because it's fucking great and the world needs to hear it. That used to happen. Like A&R used to invest in bands. They would do a 3-record deal and maybe plan on losing money on the first couple, but they believed in the band. And many of these paid off. A lot of the bands you've heard of, artists, bands, whatever, were invested in, especially as you go back in time. That's gone. There is no investment in music. Labels don't invest in bands. They help them. They're sort of a service provider. They're not investing in bands. They're not dropping huge amounts of money on someone because they think they're amazing or because this record is undeniably good. That is like 27th on their fucking calculation, And again, I'm not saying they're wrong. No one wants to run their label into the ground. If I was running a label, I'd do the same fucking shit. And yet, so no one is investing in music anymore. Labels used to invest in music a ton because they had to pay songwriters in order to make records. They had to pay the songwriters in advance. People don't make records anymore. Labels don't invest in artists anymore. They expect the artist to have already done all the work of them being, sellable. And then, they'll help you with some logistics. People really believing and investing in music, I say, is gone. So it's even harder now because if you're fucking great, if you're the best thing that ever was, it doesn't matter. These people, won't even listen to you, like I said. If they do, they might go, yeah, you're fucking great. Let's see your Spotify number goes up. Let's see what your tour can look like, They want you to do it all yourself before they invest in you. So, and the labels were very clear to guys say like, you guys, labels aren't going to solve your problem. We need to work with artists that we can help, and we can't help all artists, There are artists we can help, and those are the magic relationships where we're able to sort of blow on the embers that you already got going. So the vector, if you will, for the people at this conference to achieve their goals is barely being addressed. We just blow smoke up all our asses. Like, just hang in there and believe in yourself and just get your social media shit going. It's like, at a point, I just start tuning that shit out. There's all these conferences about maximizing a fraction of a percent of something that we'll never fucking attain, And, there's some artists here that are more on the cusp, and they're not going to those fucking conferences. It's not for them, I feel like we're being kind of sold a bill of goods in a sense. And I'm at the Folk Alliance International Conference, and I'm not accusing them of anything. Everyone here has been awesome, and they all are trying to support each other as much as they can. It's a very, very supportive organization, and everyone's friends, and everyone's trying to help each other, and it's, this wonderful, wonderful thing. And at the same time, there's just this delusion going on in everybody's fucking mind. And this is kind of known. It's absolutely known by some of the people. It's utterly unknown by some of the people who, but yeah, I don't know what the answer is here. You could say to me, like, Michael, you've never made any money as an artist. You're on year 10 of your fucking chocolate chip stand and selling no chocolate chip cookies. At what point do you say this isn't going to happen? I've already said that. It's not going to happen. I have no belief that I'm going to become some rock star, It's going to stop me from making records? No. Because it's what I fucking do. And I don't care about the money. I've never cared about the fucking money. I want to make great art with great people. I would love to get adored. The money would also be nice. That's not why I do it anymore. I do it because I can't not do it. And that's why most of us do it. We can't not do it. But I'm not fooling myself. I'm not investing in a bunch of shit because I think it's gonna push me over the edge, because it fucking ain't. I cannot get people to press play on my fucking record. So it doesn't matter how good my fucking record is, and therefore, like, what the fuck are we doing, So there's no solutions in this thing. It's just complaining. But the solutions, in my opinion, are, and there's only a couple I can think of, and they're not solutions, but one is people with a ton of money who are going to die with money, who love music, should invest in music. And they do. Some do. Like, I know artists who, let's say, they make their record budgets come from patrons, from rich people who love them and are happily supporting their record budget. That's awesome. Patrons have supported arts for centuries, millennia. It's awesome. It's still a very what was the word, like, rare thing. Like, you have people that have millions or billions and hundreds of millions of dollars in every city in the world, and a lot of them love music. A lot of them are musicians. They're not throwing money at music. Why? I'm not really sure. If I was going to die with money, I would for sure be doing a label and maybe a venue, and I would do a ton of shit, and I wouldn't care if I lost the fucking money, because I'm going to die with money in the fucking bank. And if you do this right, like in risky things like venture capital or music, you have to have a lot of chances. If something's only going to happen 1,000th of the time, you have to do it 1,000 times. So, I think there's still a good business model that works with music if you're willing to lose 99 times and win one time, and that one time pays for the rest. That's really kind of what labels used to do. They don't do that anymore. They just wait for the one TikToker they think they can monopolize, and then that's it. So if you're unhappy with the state of the music, it's because no one's fucking investing in music except artists. And the other point too of my solution thing is, like, music listeners have to be part of the solution. Never listen to something you don't like, but try things. I hang out with people where they listen to the same song they've listened to their whole fucking life, like it's classic rock. I'm like, what the fuck? Your brain is just the same now. Everything, like, there's no new inputs. All the same fucking thing all the fucking time. Why? Like, try out some new shit. The best way to do that is ask your friends what they like, and then just type it in your phone right then. Listen to new music. Go check out bands. Go check out bands that you've never heard of. Go to clubs that tend to do good music, and just go there, no matter who's playing. Buy records, buy their shirts, go to Bandcamp. There's many people that do this. If you want music to actually thrive, you have to invest in it. There's people who spend $9 a month on Spotify. That's the entirety of their investment in music. I'm not going to judge them. Don't complain about music then, because you put $9 in Spotify. That's what you're doing. You're not supporting music. Um, Again, I'm not judging you. You do what the fuck you want. Don't pretend you're supporting music. You're spending $9 on fucking Spotify. That's bullshit. Music is more valuable to you than that. Music changes people's lives. It changes the arc of their life. They decide things because of music. It matters. And you're in this wonderful world with trillions of surprises waiting for you out there, and you're not exploring it. You're listening to the same shit everyone else tells you is good. That's my biggest complaint about the music industry is no one thinks anything's good until someone else tells them that it's good. If someone told you my record was the most fantastic thing they ever heard and this band is up and coming, and says, holy shit, you should check this out, you're gonna check it out. Someone else told you it was good, you know? I find that depressing, you know? How about you decide what's good by listening to a bunch of shit and supporting it, you know? And I'm not complaining about my record sales or something like that. It's 0% of my point is how much you're supporting me, okay? I'm talking about the industry at large. And, you know, my career is mainly based on production at this point. So, and that's something that I can very meaningfully help artists do great art. And so I love the music industry. And yet I think the business is fucked because we have unimaginative non-musicians running it who are trying to get their bonus and whatever, big paychecks, and the art means very fucking little to them, you know? And this is the way it's always been. So what am I really saying? I don't fucking know. I don't know. Keep making music, you guys. Music can change the world. But, you know, be realistic for your sake. For your sake.